Live from the podcast rooms in Glasgow, it's all about the Gers with Ricki Neill, Derek Ferguson and Charlie Miller.
Hello and welcome to All About the Gers. It's myself, Ricki Neill, and tonight we're actually, after one podcast, the two guys have already left me, both away on holiday. Derek's away over to watch Lewis playing against AC Milan, I think that's tonight, and Charlie's away on holiday, but I'm joined by two very special guests. I've got Craig Houston from the Sons of Truth Academy. How you doing, pal?
Very well, mate, thanks.
And we've got another former Rangers player, Bob Malcolm. How are you, mate?
Good, Ricky.
Thanks for stepping in for Charlie.
No probs.
Well, he's already been sending me pictures. I mean, he actually looks whiter than he did when he left, by the way, which isn't like him. I know. He was like to me, give me 5 minutes and he'll be back on. But before we get into the show, I just want to say a big thank you to all our sponsors. We've got SSAFA, that's our brand new sponsor. That's the Armed Forces Charity. Soldiers, Sailors, Airmen's Families Association. Plugged In Business Solutions, Park Construction and Plant Hire, Giant Sea Architectural Limited, and DB Dental Care. Now, actually, later on, I'm going to show you something I got from DB Dental Care today. I'm going to plug something for him because he's. I'll talk about it later. We'll talk about Bob now, since Bob's the former Rangers player. So I'll get this right. Bob Malcolm, 115 games for Rangers in his senior career. He started in 1994 as a youth, 1999 senior. 4 league titles. Wikipedia doesn't say that, by the way. Scottish Cup and Scottish League title. It's good that we've got you both on tonight, actually, because obviously, Craig, you've got your academy and you had some pro youth boys on last week on your podcast, and obviously you came up through the ranks, you know. So what is it like as a boy growing up through, like, you're a Rangers fan as well, yeah?
It's a dream. So a dream came true for me, and as Craig, he's got kids that have left his set up and went to pro youth or whatever. It's the same thing, same feeling. It was obviously special because I grew up a Rangers fan and had the opportunity. Walter Smith was the manager, Bomber and John McGregor were my coaches. So going through the years and under John Chalmers and that, got the opportunity to sign. So there was no other. Once I knew that I had the opportunity to sign, there was no way going anywhere else.
Who was your first senior game for against?
Dundee United.
Dundee United. What was your score on that day?
2-1, I think it was.
2-1. Bomber's someone, isn't he, by the way?
Bomber's a crackpot. And that's him killed down a bit as well now.
Do you know, I can remember a few years back, I went to one of the Ulster things. It was in Phuket, and they wanted you to play a wee charity game against one of the local teams, right? And I hadn't played football in years. And I only got in for the dancing about 7 o'clock in the morning. The game was about 10:30 or something. And honestly, the sweat was pouring at me, and I was terrible. So I was right. I thought I was going to spew after the first kick of the ball. But John Brown was playing left back, and see the abuse he was shouting at me. I was only but he was still taking it so serious. You know what I mean? And it was like he wasn't even playing football anymore. Was he like that as a player with you as well? Or?
If MD was having a bad session, he would step in and he'd be like, "I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you." And one of the sessions, he was obviously he's the coach, so he's got the whistle nut around his neck, and it was like it was a warm up, but some of the boys were taking the piss. So it's just a wee simple. You throw the ball to the chest, like chest and header or whatever, and he's went to header it, and the whistles came up and fucked him right in the forehead while he's heading the ball. Oh, I've never said the blood gushing down the front of his face. Everybody had to stop training. They were laughing at him, but he was raging, so they made everybody run after that.
Have you played in any charity games with him since?
I have a few years back, but he's still the same. He's always been the same.
So, Craig, Bob as a player, what do you think of him?
Underrated.
Do you know, I've been taught that so many times a day, by the way.
Aye, I think, don't know if Bob will agree with this, but at that time I felt, see like Maurice Rossi's in the world, they would make one pass 2 degrees out or a foot short and the crowd would start slaughtering us. Whereas if you were the wee guy for Portugal, the winger that nobody had actually heard of before Rangers signed you, you got far easier days. And, you'd have to have a right series of bad games back then before they would start getting on you. And I always just felt that the homegrown players, they didn't get the same slack.
I think the expectation was a bit more because, like, you were homegrown and you're Rangers fans.
Is that a fair comment, Bob? Is that a fair analysis of what I've seen as a fan?
I think you're bang on, but it wasn't just me and Morris. I've heard Barry getting it as well.
Right.
During games when he's maybe made a bad pass or two, they're on his case. But I think it is a homegrown thing. I can remember under Walter, there was when Charlie and that was playing, he was the one that was getting stick. But you could have Big Ammo could fucking shell 5 balls into the stand and everybody would clap their hands. You know what I mean? It was just one of the things.
Do you know, I was looking at some of the players that you played in with, and one of my favourite players at that time was Dado Purcell. What was he like as a guy? I can always just remember on that bus singing the Follow, Follow.
That was him every day, to be fair. He'd come into training, always, if you're in a bad mood, he would pick you up. Great guy. The only thing was his aftershave. He used to wear jupe every single day.
Shiny jupe.
Every single day. It was horrible.
Do you know, I used to wear jupe and all that. That was about a good 10 years ago. I was popular back then.
But you were maybe about 20 or something at the time. He was 35.
Nah, I like my jupe. Anyway, we're going to start talking about the game. The last week's European game against Servette. 1 each. But Butland, he was excellent, I thought, last week, Craig, wasn't he?
I think out of all the signings in the summer, he's been the one that's caught my eye. You know, it's as if he's settled quick, and I think he's proven to be a decent signing already. Jury's out on the other ones, obviously, with different degrees of success, but he had a very, very important save early on.
Sorry, I thought you were still going there. I was reading Curry Muncher's Curry Muncher comments every week, right? And
Curry Muncher comments every minute.
He does. And he says, this one's for Bob. I've not even read it yet, but I'm just going to read it and see what it says. One for Bob, meaning no disrespect, as he was never considered one of the best players by fans, but nearly every player mentions his name. What was it like to play with the big names at Rangers? I don't know if that's a compliment or what.
I don't know. We'll take it as it is, isn't it?
No, I think, in fact, Curry Muncher actually said he thinks you were one of the most underrated players at Ibrox as well. We said that earlier on. But so at your time at Ibrox, he's asking you, who was your favourite
player
to play with?
Probably Ronald de Boer. I would have said Fergie if he wasn't my pal, but it's Ronald de Boer is unbelievable. Especially he only had one knee that was properly working. He couldn't bend his other knee, and the way he performed week in, week out was frightening. Michael Moles as well, until he got his injury, would have been probably one of the best players that we've had.
Right.
But, I'll go for De Boer.
De Boer. Sorry, I just jumped onto that because I seen that one there. But Servette, it was a tough game last week, wasn't it? Because they had about 6 or 7 players missing out for the first round. You know, so I was actually a bit worried about that, Bob, last week. But how do you think they played?
I think the first half an hour they were trying to get themselves into the game and never really got into the game. Then obviously went the goal behind, and then I think they must have got a bit of a bollocking at half time. They turned up after half time and did all right. I don't know. I think when we went to 3 at the back, the last maybe 10 minutes kind of brought a wee bit of pressure on us that we never had the second half. Sorry, but we got the result that we needed. So.
I mean, it was some goal for Tavernier again, Craig, wasn't it?
Aye, it was special, and he makes a habit of it. You can't argue his goal returns for a right back, to be fair.
But you know, I was see last week I was actually starting to not criticise Tav, but I was thinking he's starting to look like he's losing a bit of pace now. I don't know if it's because the other players were bringing in a lot more faster, you know. But I mean, Big Stan, he's always one for criticising.
Short key slagging something.
I know, but I mean. Do you think there's rumours that he might actually go within the next 10 days before the transfer? Do you think it'll be hard to replace him, or are you looking forward to having like Sterling? He's looking good as well.
It's looking all right, but I can't see Tav going, to be fair.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I think if he'd have went before now, or the club would have let him go before now to try and get other players in.
Even a big money thing over to Gerrard.
Well, it's up to the club.
Rumours I've not seen.
Aye. So
it would need to be. It's the club's obviously. It's up to the club. If it's a big enough offer, then they've got to take it. But I think at this time of the campaign, when we're just trying to get into the Champions League and kicking the league season off, it would be a big loss to the club.
Aye. Bob, see when you were at Rangers, was it the main keeper Stefan Kloss? Aye.
Yeah, Stefan, and then Ronald Varus came.
Aye.
He kind of had taken over, and then
Griggsy was there, wasn't he? But what are you thinking about Butland now? Because I think he's looking like a Rangers keeper, and I think we've always been quite lucky when it comes to Rangers keepers.
I think he's got what most keepers we had in the past haven't really got. Well, Griggsy's he's bigger than me a wee bit, but Butland looks as if he's a good 6'5", 6'6". He's a bit of stature about him.
Aye.
I don't think we've really had that. Comfortable coming for crosses as well, so something we've not had for a few years.
I know what this one, Stevens mentioned one where he comes running out and he's saying Buckland's looking good apart from his kicking. That's 3 or 4 times he's sclaffed his kickouts. Hopefully just a blip. But same way, the other night, Craig, you see him, he kind of, I don't know why he done it, he came running right out for the corner and just a bit hesitant. But that's the only thing that I've seen him doing wrong. And they do 2 kickouts as well. But I think he's going to fit in.
Well, the goalie, if he makes more saves, it stops goals that others would miss. That's what they're paid to do, and as long as he's not throwing any in the net or causing goals, then I think it's past marks there.
Aye. Then we're on to cup game at the weekend. It was Rangers versus Morton, 2-1. It was a wee bit of a fright at the start, wasn't it, Bob, with them scoring?
It was, but it was. I think it was just looked a bit. Tezler's over for the first few games. He's looked a wee bit. He's not in the pace to get the rest of the lads. Aye. I think he's a couple of weeks behind still, but with the penalty, he looked to be a bit lazy. Took a bad touch and then had a swipe at it. So I think once he's up to speed, he'll be a good player for us. Score goals. But it did look a bit dodgy the first 25-30 minutes.
Do you not think the fans are like right on everybody's case? And I mean, some of the players have only played like 3 or 4 games, but they're already getting stick.
FIPA fans, mate. If you think back, I always laugh at it. As soon as we're linked with anybody, somebody will find a 30-second video on YouTube and suddenly we're signing the next Ronaldo, and we got excited and too inflated, and then they come, I don't know, a sclaff a by kick, and next thing people are questioning. I think you've got to learn. You remember Haitley, remember McCoist coming to the club? People weren't ready on talking about months in. And then he went and played the League Cup final, and the rest is history. Even Big Haitley didn't get the best of starts at the club, and it'd be nice if they all get good starts, but it's few and far between. And listen, I think you can judge it both ways too early. Maybe 6 or 7, 8 games in, you can then say, right, is he got it or not? And some people, as Bob will know, they just can't play for Rangers. They could be all right somewhere else, come to us, and whether it's the club, the size of the club, the crowd, I don't know, the league, they just don't make it. So I think to judge them as being superstars or failures after 2 league games, maybe a bit tough.
That's very tough, isn't it? I mean, Charlie keeps on saying that last season he was always worried that we bought quantity instead of quality, but hopefully this season we've got it right.
Hopefully, I think, as I say, I think Craig just touched on it there with you got to give him time. You can't just judge a player after 2 and 3 games. The one that I'm surprised at is Sakala. I know he's a wee bit, you don't really know what he's doing week in, week out, but for me, I don't see anybody who's like come in that's been better than him. For what he's gave us return-wise, like creating goals and scoring goals over the last 6 months.
Do you know, I've heard that a few times now, people saying who have we actually brought in that's better than who we let go. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just I think a lot of our previous players were getting to that age that it was time to move on. It was nothing to do with they weren't good enough. I think it was just they were getting like 32, 33.
The club, they're probably about a year late with the overhaul. But it started, so you've got to give them time to gel.
Do you know, see a minute of words in here that keep on saying underrated, by the way. I'm going to ban the word underrated. But you know, here's one that I was going to ask you later on. It's from David Cars. Bob was a great passer of the ball when he played in the Gers midfield. Very underrated. How did Bob enjoy playing for Brisbane with Charlie and Craig Moore? There must be some funny stories for you all there.
Don't really remember it, to be honest. No, it was great club. The only disappointing thing about that was the fan base, wasn't it? Like, we played in a 50,000 seater stadium with maybe 5,000 fans. I think they've got more fans now, but it was the same for every club. You're going to big stadiums and there's no great fans unless you're going to Melbourne. Right. They would fill their stadium, but I think now over the years has passed that it's got bigger.
Aye. How did you form a friendship with Big Craig Moore as well? Because you don't seem like a natural kind of you, Charlie, and Craig.
No, we grew up when I was coming through. Craig was obviously he's the same age as Charlie, a few years older than me. But once I got into the first team, Craig lived in Bordeaux and I was in Motherwell, so travelled in together. The Bordeaux 5, that was what we were called at the time. But it was crazy.
Aye. Who was the other two then?
No, well, Charlie wasn't there. Charlie was away. It was
right.
Me, Fergie, Oz, Stevie Hughes, and Kevin Muscat.
Aye. What was Craig Moore like for a night out? Because the drinking culture is a bit different in Australia, is it not?
Nobody really spoke to him until the end of the night when you want to go home. He put you to sleep. Nah, great guy. He's one of us, isn't he? He's been here since he's been 18, 19, so he classes himself as one of us.
Aye. Craig, seeing Saturday, obviously it was a cup game against Morton, and he's decided to change quite a few players, saving them for this week. But me personally, I would have rather have kept guys like Cantwell and try and gel. I don't mind them doing that later on during the season, but I still think we need to gel together as a team.
Listen, I don't think you need to be resting people this early in the season. It's a bit concerning. And to be honest, I was in the Hilton Hotel from 9 o'clock on Saturday setting up for our Play of the Year awards, so I didn't get to see the game. Which in hindsight was probably not a bad thing. But I did see the team lanes coming through on social media, and I thought, I'd rather be shooting one. Do you know what I mean? We need to win trophies, and I know we should be able to put our B team against types like Morton, with all due respect, and be safe. But I don't think any of the fans can work out our best 11, and I generally don't think the manager has either yet. So it would have been nice to see a wee bit more consistency. This is what I think is my strongest team, and let them get and show and perform and try and save the jersey. If you're changing every week, you've not, there's not that same feeling that I need to perform to keep my jersey. And unfortunately, it didn't go great. The result suggests that, the times of the goals suggest that. I can't talk to you about performances and stuff because I genuinely have not seen the game. Only sobered up on Sunday night.
so that, but no, you're totally right. But to be honest, Morton actually, I thought they came out quite well. For the first half, I thought they were decent. But do you think, obviously, they gave Dessers a chance to take that penalty? Do you think that's just to build up his confidence, Bob?
No, apparently he's meant to be a proper penalty taker.
Aye.
I think that's why did the manager not come out after the game and say that the captain's under pressure.
Is he? Aye.
But whether that means that Dessers is going to be playing every week, I don't know. But no, he's meant to be decent at hitting.
And Danielo's making his mark as well, scoring again, coming off the bench.
To be fair, I think I like the look of him, the bits I've seen him. I didn't like the look of him the home Servette game for the first 25 minutes. I think he was their best player, but then after that, he's looked decent.
See that game? That was a weird one. I thought we had enough opportunities, enough possession to actually go and win that game. And not the game, the tie in the first half, and then it didn't. And then the second half, they got into 10 men, and you're thinking, well, we'll push on again, and it didn't happen. And just thought it was a weird one. And but thankfully, the result went the right way the following week. But what a weird game that home game was.
Yeah. I'm getting loads of comments coming in, so I'm just going to kind of butt in with the questions every now and then. But Stephen Learnmouth saying, what was Bob's favourite goal he scored? Dundee at Ibrox was a cracking strike. Can't actually remember the other two. Something rings a bell at Fir Park.
Yeah, Fir Park that was my first goal. Motherwell, it must have been the last kick of the ball nearly. We struggled. That was a game Fabrice Fernandes came on,
right,
and he scored an absolute world his first touch. And we had struggled against Motherwell. I think that must have been under Dick Advocat.
Aye.
And I managed to get a toe poke on the goal line, and I ran away celebrating. And I always remember Scott Leach kicked me in the balls after it because I was celebrating in front of him. But,
what was that like? What was you feeling like scoring for your team you grew up supporting?
I didn't know what to do. Because obviously, when you play reserve games or youth games, there's hardly any fans there to celebrate with anyway. So I didn't know what to do. It was lucky it was at the Rangers then, so I just stood there and started shouting. I think.
Wait, age were you?
Must have been only 18.
Oh, yeah. That's brilliant, isn't it? There you go. There he says, aye, Stephen, that was it. Yeah, cheers, Bob. He was at that game. There you go.
So right. What was the Dundee one? I'm trying to remember.
The other two were against Dundee. I've only scored 3.
The one he says was a screamer.
I can remember that one, my left foot.
I'm off daft, Paul. Come on. I'm getting too old for this memory. Carry on.
The ball came to the back of the box, and I went and hit it with my right, and the boys blocked it, and it came to my left.
I remember it now.
Sorry, just come back to Morton keeper. This is Gallant Pioneer actually saying Morton's keeper stopped if you've been 5 or 6. That is true. Their keeper had a brilliant game, so they did. Anyway, moving on. Hadji and Yilmaz have been left out of the European squad list. Ben Davies and Rabi Matondo have come in. Obviously, there's rumours about Hadji now. There's been a bit of an argument or whatever. Hadji's comments after the Morton game, he says, "I'm obviously disappointed by the situation, but I respect the gaffer's decisions. That doesn't mean I agree with him, but I respect him. He is a manager at the club." And then today, Michael Beale has said he totally understands Hadji wants to start every week. So between now and the transfer window, we'll need to look at what happens. So does that sound like he's on his way out, or maybe out on loan?
So when I heard about this today, the first thing that went through my head is, why have we put Hadji in front of the press after that game?
Aye.
Because it's a game that wasn't fantastic. Should that not been your captain or one of the senior pros? Now, I don't know who makes that decision. Is it the manager or whoever it is that's doing our PR this week? And is that the right decision to make, or was it actually planned? Is a decision been made? We need out of this boy, and we'll just throw him under a bus, because it doesn't make sense to me why you would put him in that situation, knowing fine well he's going to get asked the question. If you've already loaded the words with whoever's asked the question. And I'm going, that's just bizarre. Don't put him in. Don't do that.
Aye.
So I don't know. Has there been something more to training?
I don't think that anything that he said's wrong, though.
I didn't think so either.
He's obviously back. He's backing his own ability,
Mm-hmm.
and he's giving the manager the respect. He said, "I respect him," and I don't agree with his decision, but I respect it.
So that seems to be the excuse that's now given for pulling him out the European.
I think now looking at the manager thing, I think they've been looking. He's been looking elsewhere, or his agent's been looking elsewhere the last maybe week or so. So if something comes up, they can go.
Aye, Michael Beale said that today that his agent has been looking. So
I think Yilmaz, he's injured. He's not fit enough to make the squad.
No.
I don't think
he's injured as well, but his head's meant to be down as well. I didn't realise him and Sakala were actually best mates as well, and they used to go to the games together and all that. And he's been a wee bit down ever since.
Oh, stop it!
Seriously. That's it.
Come on, we're not big boys now. We're no under 12s. He's in the half because he's pals.
Basically, aye.
Oh, stop it. That can't be true. Serious.
Rich's Gracias says Hadji at least showed some creativity when he came on, showed a bit of passion. I think Beale has got this wrong if he shows him the door. But that's football, on it, and there's so many other players I'd probably have before him in the team, personally, but that's just me. Moving on. Women's World Cup, did you watch it yesterday?
Nope.
No.
Never watched a minute of it.
No.
I can't believe, see this Spanish guy that's getting all this press because he kissed somebody.
What did he?
The president of the Spanish FA kissed the lassie after the game, and they're wanting him flung out because that's invading the lassie's privacy and all that. And I'm thinking, where are we going with this? Where does this all stop? You know what I mean? And it's like absolutely crazy. His team's just won the World Cup. And the glasses came up. I don't know if he gave her the trophy or whatever, because I was trying to see a video of it. I've only seen a still photo, and he's like that. And you're like, if Michael Beale does that, we win the League Cup the first season, and Dessler scores a winner, and he runs up and gives him a kiss. Is he to get kicked out of Rangers for invading his guy's privacy? And I was like, it's the only story I've seen in the World Cup. Never watched a minute of it, and picked it up today and thought, oh, come on, what's the World Cup in?
Do you know, that was the only game out the whole tournament I watched. It was yesterday's final, but I didn't realise they were doing this new thing with the VAR. They were doing where the referee actually calls it over the microphone, so all the fans hear it.
All right.
So they're trialling it. Would you like to see that coming into our game, Bob?
Imagine that, yeah.
I know, imagine we Wally Collum.
I don't know. I wouldn't like to see that. I just wanted the referee to go and quickly have a look at the decision, and then if it's right or if it's no, then make the decision. Too much fanning about. You're on for like 5 minutes before do you know what I mean? Then the video guy's phone says to the referee, "Oh, you need to go and look at it yourself." After 5 minutes.
I mean, it was 13 minutes injury time yesterday.
Is that all VAR time that's counted, or are they just doing this the same as the guys?
There was a kind of head knock at one point, but I don't know where they found the other kind of 10 minutes or whatever, you know. But no, I actually thought it was quite good when you heard why they were explaining what the VAR decision was. You know, it wasn't just a case of goal disallowed or anything like that. You know, she was actually saying, you know, legal handball, blah blah blah. You know, so it was quite good. But I just can't imagine a wee Scottish ref shouting over Ibrox. You know what I mean?
That's how it won't happen. There's two. Imagine that an Old Firm game. It would be nuts. Everybody shouting, and I'm bad on that.
See, just talking about Old Firm, I'll just fire this one at you. Should the Celtic fans be back in Ibrox and vice versa?
I've only ever played when the fans have been there. It's always been great atmosphere. So I understand why Rangers have done it first time, but I don't know if it should be there's got to be some fans. I don't agree with there being no fans.
Aye.
I think there's got to be an agreement with some certain fans, but I don't really care if it's 800 or if it's 1,500.
So that'll be yourself, Craig.
See, when it first started, I've been to many Old Firm games and loved nothing more than watching 7,500 people walk out the ground and their face tripping them with 10 minutes to go. It was part of it. And at the time, I remember hearing the logic with some people who wanted Celtic out of it, be saying, they were celebrating too much and all that. And I think, and I said at the time, let's just put a team in the park that can beat them. I've been to Parkhead when we won the league and there was fans falling out the stadiums, and I remember being that drunk I missed the first 2 goals. That was either Mikhailchenko or Kuznetsov scored one all New Year's game. I was coming in for the Loudon in East End Loudon, and me and my brother-in-law at the time were steaming. We missed, I think, the first 2 goals. There was only 2 goals, and see all that stuff. That's not going to ever happen anymore.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And I think.
What, you getting steaming?
Aye. I remember when I first started going to Old Firm games, early mid 80s, and not only did they have the whole with the broom one, they had the West Enclosure, and a few times even a wee bit of the main stand, and it was just chaos. Do you know what I mean? And folk will argue, there's no fans in it, the El Clasico, and it's still a classic. Well, aye, but I think the El Clasico was famous for what was going on the pitch. Yours was almost more famous for what was going on in the atmosphere. And I think we're going to end up in a situation that the only times we're going to get that is cup finals and semis when we're playing at Hampden.
Aye,
and they'll be better atmospheres.
Even at Hampden, that's saying something.
Aye.
Here's As You Were 91420. That's some name that. Do you think Beale is the right man to deliver a successful season with what they've seen so far? And thoughts on Hadji being left out? Well, we've already covered Hadji, but Bob, what do you think of Beale so far?
I don't know. The jury's still out. I don't know if it's. I think he's the way we're trying to play, like with the change. We've obviously come away. There's no wingers. Try to play 2 strikers and one off them or whatever way they're trying to do it. It's not happening yet, and obviously the manager doesn't get that amount of time. If it doesn't happen within the next or couple of months and we're not playing well and results aren't the great, then his time could be up. But I hope not. I think since he's come in, he's got a good record. Also, the team played well at the end of last season, or the last 6 months. So, by all accounts, I've heard he's a really good coach, but a good coach doesn't make a good manager. So, I hope he is a good.
A few people said that to me this week because I asked the same question. Because I just get worried that a lot of his football is quite predictable. Especially see all these teams that park the bus, where nearly every team park the bus against us. We just kind of seem to break them down.
Well, I think that's maybe why he's playing with 2 strikers to try and nullify that. But let's say we've not looked great the first few games. But as I say, it's a new system as well. So the players that have been there, Cantwell, the defensive, the Barisic, Tavernier, attacking fullbacks. It's all new to them as well because I'm not playing this information. So I said, when you do these things, it doesn't just take 2 or 3 weeks. You've got to do it a couple of months.
What I find a bit odd is when he came in, obviously some of the competitions were over, so he almost got a free ride at it at the start of his managerial career. And then when it's the real time, the first game of this season, that's real judgment time from him. He's started changing it, and I'm thinking, why did you not do that 3-4 months ago? To find, right, that suits Scottish football, that suits the type of player that we're after. Because if he's changed the system so much, then the players that you recruited up to that point were recruited for a different system and you get the right personnel. But I would like to have seen the changes at the end of last season, not at the start of this season.
I think as well, see, like when you talk about changing formation and playing the 2 strikers, well, then why not keep Morelos and bring somebody else in to play with him?
Aye.
That's, you know what I mean?
Can you believe he's still not got a club yet, Bob?
Not really, but I think maybe people are looking at the way.
His attitude?
I think that's what's causing these problems, the attitude. He's obviously a great player and can score goals. But you look at the first couple of years with his discipline as well. I don't know, I've never met the boy before, but I've seen him out in clubs and pubs. And
do you go to Sanctuary? I know.
No, but I've seen him out in different places, and it wasn't just like, it's not a Saturday or a Sunday, it's like during the week. So But listen, it's each to their own. He's not here now, so. But it was just strange. Why would you not take a chance and keep them if you're going to play up another striker?
Did you know you used to socialise quite a bit, but
Aye, we did, but no. It was a Tuesday night. It was a cut off, and then that was it.
That was you.
Because we were off on a Wednesday, so we trained Thursday, Friday.
Right.
But wouldn't be out on a Thursday night getting pushed.
One that I think it's Kolak. That one surprised me. I thought the year that we had him, he was the best in our club. See for balls getting played in wide. His job was in front of the 2 goalposts, and it was his first time shot. I thought he was the best at it, and that's where he got most of his goals. He only needed one. I think his first 2 games he scored 3 or 4 goals. He had one chopped off for offside, and they were all the same. Balls getting delivered for wide areas, 1 touch, bang, goal. And I just kept saying, this boy's better, I think, than we're seeing.
Goal scorer.
Aye, and that's what we've no goal. Morelos done it for a couple of seasons, and then off the boil a wee bit. And strikers have got to score goals.
No.
And I thought he was a good one.
There's Big Five are saying Bale needs to win the league. Fact, and if he doesn't, after being back big time this year, he can get to.
I think every year the aim should be to win the league, and not just a one-off.
The Celtic are catching up with our titles, so we don't want that happening.
Catching up with everything.
Aye.
Could be the level was they're at the League Cup. That's actually saved us because I think it could have been level with us before Christmas if it wasn't for depending on when the League Cup final would be. So that's cut us a bit of slack from that race. The actual total trophies. I think since we got to 55, we could have put our foot right in their neck. And the following season, if we'd have went heavy backing the manager at that time, we'd have A, probably still kept him, and B, won the league again.
Right. Do you think it was just financial reasons we never done that, Craig? At the time?
It must have been.
Could have been another. You know what I mean? I just couldn't believe the lack. That was it. We pushed on. We could have put them to bed for good 3 or 4 years. And we didn't. And we didn't get into the Champions League the next year. And we missed the 3 roles at the Champions League that we created with our coefficient points, which was slightly frustrating.
Yeah. I actually don't think Gerrard would have left if there was money to spend. I don't think he would have left.
Agree.
I think so,
100% agree.
I think he would have stayed, but I think he was basically there was nothing to spend. So
there was a reason he's not there.
Oh well.
He was promised money and he never got it. Simple.
Right. Moving on, that's like we're talking about. Obviously, the next 3-4 games are really, really important, and that could actually be a big thing for Beale as well. I think because obviously we've got PSV tomorrow night, Ross County, then we've got PSV, and then we're up against Old Firm. But we'll not do that now. Who would you start tomorrow, Bob, in your team? Who would your starting 11 be?
Starting 11. Oh yeah, I would probably play. I know it will not happen, but I would start with Sterling at right back, Goldson, Suter, Barisic, and I would play Tav on the right.
Right, aye.
Just so that we're tight. You don't want to be getting into this game and then
because the other 2 strikers are top.
They're decent. They're a decent team all over, but you want to keep yourself in the game. I know that we need to win at Ibrox because it's got a hard place to go to, but I just think if you can keep it tight and nick a 1-0 or a 2-0 and take it over there, and then I think I don't know. No harm. I know it won't happen because he's never done it before, so no date now. But I just think we can't just focus on going out and attacking. We need to defend as well, and what the Dutch teams are like
because they can break, can't they?
Yep. I don't forward wise. I can't see us playing two strikers with one off either. I think if we do that, we could leave ourselves open. But that's the way he's went every game. So it just depends who. I think you've got to go to 3 midfielders that played Cifuentes, Jack, and Raskin.
Aye.
I think they've got to play. And then whatever 3. I think Danilo will play, I think, and then maybe the big boy Seamer for his pace. And then Lammers, maybe I don't know. Maybe
do you know? I thought Lammers was looking really, really good at the start of the season. But it seems to have phased off a wee bit now.
Only 5 games in.
I know.
When's his good ones in?
I'm one of the bad critics here.
He had a good start to the season and failed it. Man, with 5 games in, that's class, Ricky.
What about yourself, Craig? Would you be quite similar to?
If I pick a team now, aye. Bob, do you want to play right back? Yeah. I think the sort of midfield and holding players, and I think your centre 3 in the midfield would make sense. And it's just whatever ones are they 3 round about them would be up for debate.
I'm just looking at everybody else's teams that are coming up. Butland, Tavernier, Soapy, Golson, BB, Jack, Raskin, Cantwell, Lammers, Dessers, Danilo. So,
We don't have a. We can't play another way because we don't have any wingers. So we can't play like lopsided or the way we used to play with 11 crans on the left and 3 midfielders because we don't have the players to do it.
see the build up to training and all that for a European match is any different for like just a normal league game or anything like that?
You probably don't train as much because it's a midweek game and you've obviously played at the weekend. The boys would have been in, would have trained it today, and then they'll probably be at the hotel tonight. So, I don't know the way Beale works. If they might maybe bring them in the morning and go to the hotel in the afternoon or whatever. But we used to train and then go to the hotel.
What was it like going abroad? Is that all right?
It was good if you won. It wasn't good if you never won. Having to come back and playing with some of the Bears.
Oh, that's right. Because you share the plane, didn't you?
But we were never in a situation where some of the managers have been like fighting with players or fighting with fans or anything like that. It's never been as bad as that. But I think apart from one season when we played in the Europa League, it's mostly been Champions League, and the club done relatively okay.
Here's John Stevel, what's he saying? The lack of pace on our side is a real concern for me. We are too slow and also too narrow. We aren't a huge threat. I actually thought we were quite fast.
I wonder if that's your John Stevel that's the treasurer for us.
Don't know.
John Stevenson's your treasurer for Sons of Super. I put a link on the coaches page before I was going in to try and get some viewers. So. Might be John.
Right. Predictions.
Slagging anybody for lack of pace, I'll show you photos of him playing football.
So what do you think score will be tomorrow, Bob? Your prediction?
I'm going to go 1-0.
1-0.
1-0 Rangers.
Greg?
I take anything that's strong the tie. I think a lot of people are getting a wee bit over ambitious just because of last year's recent results against them. But you're a Rangers fan, I'm confident we'll get something. And if we can keep a clean sheet, that would be superb.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what's funny? The minute Rangers fans just say, "Oh, we beat them last year." It's a totally different
the thing
team.
is, both teams are different. They've sold 3 or 4 players for big money as well, so both teams are going to be different.
Where did Bassey end up, by the way? I've completely missed this one in the summer.
Fulham.
Permanent?
Yeah.
Permanent.
Yeah.
Was it permanent? Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
I think so.
I wasn't sure. Ali Quinn, Matondo might actually start, by the way, as we need to double up on their wingers. I actually think he's come back this season all right. Huh?
The bats, I've not really seen much of him, to be fair. I seen him one of the pre-season games, and he done okay. I know he missed a Saturday, but and that's a bit that everybody picks up on. But by all accounts, he done well on Saturday. I think he's somebody that we need. He's got pace, and he plays in the wing, obviously. When he came in the couple of Fulham games at the end of last season, I thought he'd done well.
Do you know he's actually, or he was last season, he was the second highest paid player at Rangers, so he was, So
frightening life out you, isn't it?
Aye. Hey, then we've got Ross County away at 12:30 on Saturday as well.
You always end up these far away ones at mad hours and that. You know, I've done a bit of legwork as a foot soldier with away games. Unfortunately, running a kids football team now, that's harder, and I've not been to as many over the last 2 or 3 years I'd like to. But my heart goes out to our away support are fantastic, and there's another one. What time these boys need to leave to get up there on a Saturday? And you know what? If the European throw had been the other way around, these guys would only be getting in the house on Friday for them, for Holland.
Aye.
And we're expected to be up there, leaving the house at after o'clock. All these guys running supporters buses, scrapping for tickets week in, week out, and you think, is that again? Do you know what I mean? It's just, and it seems to be every time you're along the long journeys, we get crappy kick-off times for the away fans.
No help for the league, no help for the SFA.
That shouldn't be an excuse for the players, though.
No.
It's horrible for the fans having to go up there at that time, coming back for that game, but it can't be an excuse for the players.
No, they'll be up there the night before, I'd imagine, as well.
Yeah.
That's our trip.
There's WATP saying 1-1 both legs. Game goes to extra time and penalties. Rangers win 2019 and penalties.
I played that in FIFA in the PlayStation. I get that. I like his wee emoji thing. That's nice. That man, a wee guy in a white horse. I like him.
So predictions for Saturday then?
Saturday. Name away.
I'll let you go first this time.
2-0.
2-0.
I can shoot you in.
Aye. Bob?
I'll go 3-0.
3-0.
You was going to say 2, but weren't you?
No, I wasn't especially 3.
How would you line up Saturday then, Bob, knowing that we've got PSV in the Wednesday?
Team. strongest team. Should always be the strongest team.
Would you know go be like what they done
No.
last weekend? No.
I don't. Well, I can understand why I done it last week because the Morton.
Aye.
But any Premier League game, any European game, you play your strongest team, and then see if you need to rest players once you're winning, then that's when you don't know any other times. And I know it's hard on players who are playing every week. Are not getting game time.
We spoke about this at the end of last season when I was on, and we had 3 or 4 games to go in the season. And I said, see now, go and throw in some of the kids, give them 3 or 4 games, right? And we didn't do it. So I don't get this, but we'll do it at the start of the season when it's proper football.
They're just trying to gel on your team together as well. You know what I mean?
Aye, and I think, I don't think we've got a big enough squad to be like Chelsea's rotation system and all these fancy things. Find your best 11 and go for it. If somebody's playing shite, pull them off.
Yep.
And give somebody else a go and find your best 11 and go for it and go and try and win 3 trophies this year.
Right, before we talk about more football, I'm going to show you what's in my wee blue box here, right? So basically, I was out at one of our sponsors today. I was out at DB Dental Care. So for a few weeks or a few months, the wife has been complaining, saying I've been snoring, and she thought I had that sleep apnea and all that, right? So I ended up having to go to the hospital and getting on a mad test and all that done, but I'm fine, right? But I'm on the brink of having sleep apnea,
You're
right?
no fine,
I'm
mate.
no fine, I'm
You're
no fine.
believe
But
me.
people won't obviously see this in audio, but do you know that that's actually a 3D replica of my teeth?
Right.
Right, and basically what happens is I need to wear that, but the night I've not even tried it yet. Wear that, and then it stops me snoring. So how good's that? But look, it's an actual 3D.
Is this one of your sponsors?
Aye.
God, there's a favour.
What?
Don't ever get a sponsor that sells Y-fronts.
No, I'm just,
Or Durex or something, right?
I'm just getting one for what do you call it, a hair transplant.
We could all get that one.
I know.
Do you know? See on Facebook, by the way, I keep on getting this same advert coming up, and it says it's simply the best hair transplant in Turkey.
Brilliant.
The price is $16.90.
No,
Seriously.
Yeah, see you on that, right?
Yeah,
See
go
that?
back with half a
One of the last time I seen Bob was in the district bar after some charity game. And it was this guy who was that drunk. He spoke to me for 10 minutes. Thought it was him, right? I tell him I don't know who was unhappy. Then we got a phone call for the taxi driver about an hour later. Where does Bob Malcolm live? I says, he's in your fucking taxi. He says, I know, I've asked him 10 times. You can't be saying it.
that was the bastard that stole my boots.
Did he?
Aye, my bag went missing.
Seriously,
My
aye?
boots, aye.
Where does he live? He's in your taxi.
Brilliant. Anyway, I'm afraid that's the end of the show already. In fact, here's one. What's this? 2 for on a tool extension, mate. Don't know what that means.
2 for?
Don't know. I think he's trying to be funny, but
2 for 1
oh, 2 for 1. Is
on a Willie extension.
that what you said?
Must be used to. He's having a go at it. Mine's is all right.
Anyway, listen, Bob, thanks very much for coming in and filling in for Charlie.
No worries.
Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully get you back on
Does that
again.
mean I was filling in for Derek Ferguson?
You were filling in for
Okay, I'm
Derek.
humbled and
Where
honoured for
did you
that.
say Derek was?
Derek's away to see Bologna playing AC Milan. They're playing the night at, in fact, 7:45 tonight. So sorry for some of it.
At least he's no back in Iraq.
Yeah.
It's fucking Saddam Hussein or whatever it was.
That's right, aye.
Did you hear that story?
No.
He said that he was when they were in, was it Iraq?
Aye.
And he said that they got took into a hotel in the back of a room or whatever, and Saddam Hussein came in to get introduced to him.
Shut up.
Seriously?
Who was he playing with?
Rangers. And they basically get bullied into throwing the game.
Was it a friend? I think it
Must
was
have been a friend.
Mad
aye.
Freeze. Oh, what? I've never heard that one.
Aye.
You get that one out.
They didn't throw it, what did?
I don't
Did?
know. I don't
Fucking
know.
hate
I didn't listen to
Could
the
you
full
blame
story.
them?
Could you imagine him and Durant trying to fight all the men?
Imagine telling Bomber that.
Oh, I know. Brilliant.
That's the thing he was saying, right? Yeah, I've played in a couple of games and like at the sidelines of a few of these charity games. You see folk like Bomber now, like, you know that they're nuts. I played a game at Ibrox, right? Made folk paying 300 and 400 quid to play the game, and me, Alec Ray's getting them stinking, right?
Aye.
I'm like, Alec, that boy's just paid that, right? and it was Rangers players, 3 or 4 in one team, 3 or 4 Rangers players in another team, and the 2 teams were all Rangers fans, and he's getting them at stinking. I'm like, Alec, calm down. And I've seen Bomber outside of one of them as well, and it's that this desire to win. It's just
But Craig, I actually forgot to ask you. Obviously, we said right at the start about you've got the podcast out, and it's got some of your young boys that went through to be pro youth.
Yeah.
Tell us a wee bit what about that before we finish up. We've still got a couple of minutes.
Just this season, for about November onwards, we had 5 kids go pro youth at the older age groups, which was unusual because normally once they missed the first entry, which is about kids at 11 this year, they sort of missed the boat. But we had 5 kids out of the under 13s and under 15s go, and in fact, more than that, 6. And I thought we could take them in and hear about their stories and how they done it, and hopefully I would let folk know about our club and what we do to try and help them, and more importantly for the other 200 kids that are at the club with aspirations of following them, and you get their feedback and what drove them and what's happened when they went to these pro clubs, how's it different, and the kids were brilliant. I thought it was going to be like drawing teeth out of some of them, but the two of them, the older ones, one's 16, one's 15, they were good, they were chatty boys, but the ones that were under 13s, I thought, maybe need to drag it out of them, but they were all good, and the chat was great. And I got one of the boys, Cody, he's at Kilmarnock, and the next day I got a lovely text off the head of youth at Kilmarnock saying how great the podcast was, and thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was great to see the kids and what we're doing at Sons of Struth, so we'll make it continue.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Right, that is us time up. So once again, thank you for both of you coming on. Hopefully get you back on again throughout the season. And big thank you to all our sponsors. We've got SSAFA, that's the Soldiers, Sailors and Airmen's Families Association. You can check them out at safa.org.uk. We're going to get them on the show throughout the season, and also some of the people that SSAFA have helped throughout the years. This could be anything to do with former veterans or people that have been injured at war, everything, it could be mental health, and emotional support, everything, support for their families. So we're going to get somebody to come in maybe every 3 or 4 weeks just to tell us a bit more about SSAFA as well. We've also got Plugged In Business Solutions, Park Construction and Plant Hire, Giant Sea Architectural Limited, and obviously Stuart, my dentist, DB Dental Care. So can't forget that. All right, but once again, thank you, and we'll be back again next Monday at 7:30.